In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NFL games happening on November 30th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NFL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Las Vegas Raiders versus Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers step into this matchup at 7-4-0 after a bye week that gave them space to reset inside their own facility. The Raiders arrive at 2-9-0 with a new play caller and a roster that has spent more time solving internal problems than building any late-season push. Their meeting in Week 2 ended at 20-9, a result shaped by steady pressure from the Chargers and a defense that created turnovers without leaning on a complex scheme. That game showed how both teams handled each other when neither carried any built-in justification for poor execution. And the current setup places the same quarterback, the same coaching staff, and the same defensive framework back on familiar ground. The Raiders bring the same roster core, but now face more sideline changes and fewer signs of unity. The gap between the two teams highlights how each group responds when stressed, and the circumstances suit the Chargers' approach. The Raiders have shown strength on defense at points this season, including tight efforts against Tennessee and Denver, holding both to 10 points. They have given up the second fewest yards per carry in the league. There is talk that Omarion Hampton might return, but this front could keep him contained, and Kamani Vidal has not shown a clear lift during Hampton's absence. The Chargers still rely on Justin Herbert, yet this matchup invites the Raiders' pass rush to disrupt him. Max Crosby and the rest of the front can limit his rhythm. This Raiders offense could adjust after the change at offensive coordinator, but the Chargers' defense continues to operate as one of the strongest units in the league. They allow the 4th fewest passing yards per attempt and have given up 10 passing touchdowns while collecting 10 interceptions. Jano has thrown an interception in 6 of his last 8 games, a trend that could continue under pressure from this secondary. Both sides may grind through long stretches of short possessions and controlled snaps, and each unit may find sustained drives difficult as the game unfolds. As our first pick for this matchup, the Los Angeles Chargers to cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Given the strengths and flaws on both rosters, the setup points toward fewer explosive plays and a pace built on field position. Each defense can limit clean passing windows. Each offense may need to work through long fields. The ground game for both sides faces restrictive fronts, and the passing game for both sides carries turnover risk. These conditions can compress scoring and reduce the number of drives that reach the red zone. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Buffalo Bills versus Pittsburgh Steelers. The Buffalo Bills visit the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday at Acrisure Stadium in a matchup between two teams trying to steady themselves after losses. Pittsburgh plays at home and has scored at least 25 points in 4 of its last 5 games. Its defense has struggled, since it has given up 25 or more in 3 of those same 5 outings. Buffalo has dropped 2 of its last 3 games, and its offensive line faltered in the recent loss at Houston, which limited protection for its quarterback. Both teams face real problems on each side of the ball. Pittsburgh enters with opportunity, given its home field and Buffalo's issues in pass protection, especially when the pocket collapses on Josh Allen. As our first pick for this matchup, the Pittsburgh Steelers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Buffalo sits at 6-5 to the under, while Pittsburgh sits at 6-5 to the over. The Steelers reached the over in 5 of their first 7 games before landing under the number in 3 straight. Their most recent game, a 31-28 loss at Chicago on a 47 total, went over with Mason Rudolph in his first start of the season. Pittsburgh expects Aaron Rodgers to return in Week 13 for the meeting with Buffalo. The Bills are 4-1 to the under on the road, including the 23-19 loss at Houston on a 44.5 total. Buffalo has scored 19 or fewer points in 3 of its last 4 road games, with the exception of the 40-point outburst at Carolina in Week 8. Even with that uneven scoring, Buffalo ranks 3rd in yards per game at 381.8. Pittsburgh has defensive issues. It has allowed at least 30 points in 5 games. It opened the season by giving up 30 or more to the Jets and Seahawks, then did the same in back-to-back losses to the Bengals and Packers. It seeks to avoid another stretch of consecutive games with that level of scoring allowed after the Bears reached 31 last Sunday. The Steelers sit at 28th in yards allowed per game even though they limited Chicago to 330 yards. The Bills have enough firepower to score early touchdowns, which forces Pittsburgh into a quicker pace. Both defenses feature playmakers, yet neither has played at an elite level. Each defense also speeds up opponents, since Pittsburgh's foes run plays with the 7th fewest seconds between snaps and Buffalo's with the 10th fewest. That pace raises the likelihood of more possessions and more scoring as the game unfolds. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Denver Broncos versus Washington Commanders. The Broncos and the Commanders both return from a bye week, yet they reach this point from very different tracks. Denver arrives with momentum built across an 8-game run of wins that includes strong results against the Texans, the Chiefs, and the Eagles. The defense ranks near the top in most metrics and allows only 17.5 points per game, which places it 3rd in the league. The offense can stall at times, yet it sustains drives when needed and finishes with authority. Denver ranks 2nd in fourth quarter scoring at 9.5 points per game. The group plays with steady control and a knack for closing tight contests. Their against the spread mark sits at 5 to 5-1, which reflects some uneven covers even as the wins pile up. The Commanders prepare to go forward without Jaden Daniels again, which puts Marcus Mariota back at quarterback. When their second-year passer has been out, the offense loses rhythm and the broader team play dips. They sit 12th in offensive EPA yet fall to 31st on defense. Injuries shape part of that fall-off, but the roster mix, built from many older pieces, has not held up. The defensive struggles continue despite a coach with a strong history on that side of the ball. The matchup places Washington in a difficult position because their roster strength does not match what Denver brings. Their against the spread record, 3-8, also shows the gap between effort and results. Both teams benefit from the extra rest and preparation time. Denver's recent stretch includes narrow wins, each by 3 points, and none of those games reached 23 points scored by the offense. Their win over Kansas City showed that pattern with 342 yards, only 16 first downs, and 10 penalties for 147 yards. The defense kept the game in reach by holding the Chiefs to 5 conversions on 13 third downs and limiting total first downs to 19. Washington's most recent outing, a loss to Miami, slipped late. The offense managed 6 conversions on 13 third downs but turned the ball over twice. The defense held Miami to 3 conversions on 9 third downs and to 19 first downs overall. Yet Washington has stayed under 25 points for 6 straight games, all losses, which shows how often the offense stalls. Denver does not bring a top-level offense, but Washington's defense has struggled and now lacks key playmakers. Denver's defense shapes the game with tight coverage on the back end and strong pressure up front. Their run defense sits at the top of the league at 3.6 yards allowed per carry, which forces opponents into predictable situations. Washington faces a hard task with a lineup already stretched thin. The Commanders may want to get Daniels on the field in what looks like a lost season, yet placing him against this defense would create a steep challenge. The two teams move in opposite directions and the gap in roster strength is clear. Washington has not shown enough to stay even with a defense that limits space and a team that knows how to close games. As our first pick for this matchup, the Denver Broncos to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Denver averages a little more than 23 points per game, and the defense creates short fields that set up scoring without long drives. Washington averages more than 21 points per game and allows almost 27, which builds game scripts where possessions increase and both offenses see chances inside scoring range. With Mariota at quarterback, Washington may rely on quick throws and movement that stops the clock and stretches total drives. Denver uses a balanced approach that keeps chains moving and forces a defense that has had trouble in the red zone to stay on the field. Both offenses can create steady pressure through extended possessions, field position swings, and short yardage wins, which raises scoring potential on both sides. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.